then go to the next ones and assume that it's not, you know, I can't make sense.
Hello, everyone. Come on in. Come on in. Let's do a Diddy update. He has a hearing today. We're just covering some information in regards to the hearing. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please turn on the notification bell. Fair use. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged in our opinion and for entertainment purposes only. We're going to do some general updates about the hearing. It's going to take in our opinion and for entertainment purposes only. It's going to take people a few minutes to come in, so allow people to come in, like the video as you guys come in, and let's continue. This is coming from Law Crimes, but like the video as you guys come in. This is Diddy's emergency hearing in regards to them swiping his cell, grabbing information, and we're going to hear what's going on in regards to the courtroom.
For that.
You can, I want to read you a question from one of our viewers, Natalie. It's from Dougie Jones on YouTube. What is more important, the crimes Diddy is accused of, or taking pictures of pieces of paper?
What is more important is everyone's constitutional rights. So the thing that I tell everyone is that your constitutional rights were built on the back of bad guys. Miranda was someone who confessed to a crime, right? He did it. He confessed to it. But we all now have Miranda rights because he wasn't properly advised that he didn't have to under the 6th and the 5th Amendment, right? We have the right to walk away from police officers when they stop us and frisk us. We don't have to stay there and be stopped and frisked. You have Terry to thank for that. Your right to have an attorney free of charge if you can't afford one. You can thank Mr. Gideon for that. He was a bad guy. He was convicted of crimes. Sean P. Diddy Combs might be an allegedly bad guy, but if you don't uphold everyone's right to counsel off of the back of these bad people, you don't get your rights. So later on, if you are alleged to have done something that you didn't actually do, and then the police or the state is able to go in and look at your letters back and forth to your attorney and use them against you, then you would have lost your rights because of a case like this. That's why this is more important than that.
Very, very well said. And let me just add one more thing.
Thanks for tuning in. Like the video,
cases, particularly where you have defendants who are accused of egregious conduct, I will say it becomes, I mean, it's important in every case, but for those who believe that he's automatically guilty, for those who believe it's just, we have to go through the pro forma of a trial, the last thing that you want is a criminal defendant's rights to be violated in some way pre-trial because, and correct me if I'm wrong, what could happen is they get convicted, they have grounds for appeal, this conviction gets overturned, you got to start the whole process again. It's not even necessary you have a second trial. It won't be as strong as the first time around. So anybody who really wants justice in this case, who already thinks that Sean Combs is guilty, just keep that in mind. Now, I want to actually go to you, Natalie. One more thing. We have an update from court. This looks like we have now a timetable. So the judge says we have a bail hearing on Friday at which I will not consider these materials. In terms of running down the privilege issues, that can take weeks. Any issue with that time frame? Sean Combs' lawyer says no. The judge says, I'll issue a schedule. Sean Combs' lawyer says if they are intending to seek a superseding indictment with these notes, the judge asks the prosecutor, and the prosecutor says, just to be clear, the filter team can keep the notes. The judge says if they're not involved in the grand jury investigation or this case. Multiple points there, Natalie. You talk about what you want to hit first.
Yeah, so first of all,
feels like a dream, feels like magic.
Like the video, like the video, like the video. Hold on one second. Like the video. Like the video. Currently, we're doing the Diddy hearing right now. Gotta go past this commercial. Because when I was just watching it, I didn't see none on that side. So like the video, like the video. Thanks for being here, everyone. We're just doing a Diddy update in regards to his hearing. You know, my page covers the Diddy situation, him getting arrested. So I felt it was important for me to also cover his hearing, which is today. And they're right now talking about if he's going to have another hearing on Friday, because he was scheduled to have a hearing on Friday. Okay.
Superseding indictment, likely adding on charges of obstruction of justice. But if it's found that that indictment was generated as a result of the violation of attorney-client privilege and work product, then more than likely that indictment is not going to stand. They might have killed their own case by the way in which they gathered this evidence. So those are the things that pop up in my mind.
Saf, I'll give you an opportunity to respond if you agree with Natalie, but also throw this out. We have a question from Tiffany Marcinak on YouTube. If not a dismissal, which doesn't seem to be what the case is, I wonder if this is used to grant him bail. So again, the question is, how does this affect Friday?
Definitely. So I 1000% agree with Natalie to answer your question first and foremost. To the issue of bail, I don't think that these things are going to be considered for bail. And in fact, it appears that the prosecution tried to use some of this information in opposition to Mr. Combs' bail application, but the judge seems to be striking certain parts from that opposition, or is not going to consider those parts of that, of those documents or whatever they might be for the bail application.
Big update from court. Okay, so this is interesting. First, the judge says, Sean Combs' lawyer says they should preserve the video. The prosecution says fine. This is the part I want to address. So, Natalie, the judge says, what about the Jeffries case in Eastern District of New York? Talking about Mike Jeffries, who was arrested on sex trafficking. The judge says the government released him on a $10 million bail. This is in the Eastern District of New York. Be prepared to address the difference there. And the prosecutor says it's very different. That was one of the arguments, Natalie, that Sean Combs' defense team raised. Another high-profile individual. Why does he get $10 million bail and my client doesn't? Wow, the fact that the judge might be entertaining that.
Yes, I think that's very interesting. I don't know with the Jeffries case if there's any allegation of witness tampering. We know that before this raid and the interception of attorney-client work product privilege, the prosecution had already raised that Sean P. Diddy Combs was reaching out to witnesses, but that was a bit more ephemeral. They couldn't exactly say what he was saying to these witnesses, and he had not yet been indicted. And now with the judge saying he's
like
not
the video,
like the video.
Thanks for being here, everyone.
They are going to have to distinguish him from the other case. Why is that important? Because it's important to have fairness across the board, right? So similarly situated defendants charged with the same thing should have similar bail and release conditions. There shouldn't be differences if they're pretty much the same. So that's very interesting. And I'm think it's going to rise and fall on the previous allegations that were made of witness tampering.
So I want to let everybody know that the hearing is over. The judge is now going to see both parties on Friday for that bail hearing. We plan to cover it here on Long Crime the very same way, but I don't want anybody to go anywhere because we're waiting for Elizabeth Milner to come out of that courthouse, give us an update about what she observed inside that courtroom, including what she observed of Sean Combs. Did he make any statements? Did he say anything? Did he look in a certain direction? Because something's still probably going on in that courtroom. Maybe he said something or motioned something to his family. It'll be interesting to hear, and also things that weren't picked up during the course of these live updates. But what's also interesting is I don't think we're going to hear any press statements, Safa, right? I don't think we're going to hear anything from the prosecutors or the defense because there's a gag order in place, right? There's only so much that they can say. I mean, it's about not disclosing certain information about the case. It's not about, they also can't reveal grand jury material. Do you anticipate we're going to hear any pressers after this?
I don't think so. And if anything, I don't think we're going to hear from the prosecution. And I think it's best at this point for them to keep quiet, considering the tire fire that's been created and why we're even having this discussion today. That's number one. Number two, if we hear a statement from Mr. Agnifilo, that is a possibility. But right now, I think it's best that everybody just sort of takes a pause and kind of keeps quiet, especially with the defense. They could be looking at a huge one for their case, and they don't want to say anything or do anything that could potentially jeopardize what's going to come down this coming Friday or in the future for their case.
Got some questions as we wait for Elizabeth to come out. The question from Cole on YouTube. Why did the judge consider the Jeffries case before? I guess it's why didn't the judge consider the Jeffries case before? I would say the timing of it, because Sean Combs had already been denied bail twice. Then Jeffries gets arrested and charged, and this issue hasn't come before a court yet. There was Sean Combs' team was actually appealing this to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals, paused that in order to now argue this in front of the most recent judge overseeing this case, Judge Arun Subramanian. So again, he seems to be the first judge to handle this issue and has already commented on it. All right, so I have a question for you, Natalie. This is from Bright Essen on YouTube. So because it seems like he got a relatively early trial date, does that mean his case will be resolved much more quickly than usual court cases of this magnitude, or will it take years and years?
We haven't even gotten to motions. I doubt this case will be tried on the currently set trial date, hopefully not years and years, but these prosecutions do take a long time.
May of 2025, which is an interesting argument, Safa, because in the prosecution's most recent filing on bail, they addressed one of the defense's concerns, because the defense said, look, he needs bail. He needs to be out because the MDC, the Metropolitan Detention Center, is not adequate for him to prepare for trial. It's not adequate for him to review all the discovery in this case. And the prosecution responded, no, it's adequate. He has a separate room. He can communicate with his lawyers. And by the way, if he needs more time preparing, let's adjourn the trial date. He's the one who wanted May 2025. Why don't we push it out then? What do you think about that argument, Safa?
Well, Mr. Combs and every American has a constitutional right to a speedy trial. That's number one. So that's why we're seeing that trial date that's been scheduled for May 2025. So that's the first thing. Not only that, but it's always easier for us to meet with our clients and confer and all of those sorts of things with our clients out of custody. Yes, they have a room. They have all of these mechanisms and means for us to meet and discuss our case with our clients. But, you know, there's nothing like having your client come into your office or into your boardroom, throw a body camera on TV or throw any kind of footage on the TV and be able to look at that themselves. And sometimes our systems aren't as well equipped when we have to transport our computers and recordings and all of those sorts of things into the jail. More often than not, it's always easier, and it's definitely best for us to have our clients out of custody as we continue to prepare for trial. And it makes for a more meaningful defense when we're able to do that.
Like the video. Thanks for being here, everyone.
Thinking about this issue of bail on Friday, which I think is going to be fascinating. I've been following it for weeks. Because if you take the prosecution's arguments as true, that he has been improperly contacting people from jail, that he's been using other inmates' PAC numbers to make phone calls, that he's been engaging third parties to reach out to witnesses. The question becomes, why should we trust him on the outside in what would essentially be a home prison, 24/7 monitoring, visitor logs, only family members would show up, because the prosecution is saying he's enlisting family members to do his bidding. He might get the security team to bend the rules a little bit. You think it's a stretch for him to make bail on Friday?
It's going to be difficult for him. He still remains a flight risk just as a function of his wealth. And he does have particular allegations against him. We can't really think about the ones from his jail cell. The other ones, though, that he has massive power and influence over people. And so the government's best argument is that the only way to control and stop that so that they can have integrity in their case is to keep him incarcerated so that they can legally intercept his communications. Because like I said, he has no right to privacy. All of his phone calls will be intercepted. So that is the strongest argument for the prosecution. But then on the other side, did the prosecution kind of give that up by overstepping their bounds and intercepting his attorney-client communications and making it so that he cannot safely prepare for his case because he must always be in fear that the government is going to go in and try and get into his trial strategy?
Safa, your thoughts on bail on Friday?
Like the video. Will he get bail?
I don't think that, unfortunately, Mr. Combs is going to make bail. It certainly is a possibility, and it'll be interesting to see how the judge takes those two cases into consideration. The likelihood of him getting bail, I doubt it. There doesn't appear to be a significant change in circumstances either. But for the disclosure of the attorney-client privilege information. And so if the judge looks at that and says, hey, this is important enough to me, this was so egregious on the prosecution's part that I'm going to grant Mr. Combs bail because I want to safeguard his rights and ensure that he can prepare his case with the integrity of his attorneys, then I'm going to grant that and I'm going to allow it.
All right. Tell you what we're going to do. Safa, we're going to sign you off. You've been so generous with your time. Natalie, stick with us. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're hoping to get Elizabeth Milner on, who is inside that courtroom. She'll give her perspective, her observations about what happened there. Stay with us. We'll be right back right after this.
So as that's pausing, we'll do that. Okay, so let's get into this, you guys. Thanks for being here. Like the video, like the video. Thanks for subscribing to Let's Talk About It Media 21. Remember how this morning I did a live in regards to there's alleged investigators, we're not certain who they're hired by. I can't confirm or deny if they are hired by Diddy or not. But we're going to get to that because now TMZ has the information. This is something we covered this morning, but TMZ just reported on it 3 hours ago. So it's basically stating that private investigators approaching TikTokers about celebrity connections to Diddy. Baby, we just covered that this morning. So allegedly that might be the private investigators. I told y'all, let's pull those pictures up. Let's find out who the investigators are. So now TMZ got it. This is something we talked about this morning. I hope that TMZ interviews any TikTokers or YouTubers that's talking about this. So it's basically saying private investigator approached TikTokers about celebrities connected to Diddy, allege. Because we can't confirm or deny if they work for Diddy, know Diddy, or if they're pulling information. So let's get to it. Private investigators are allegedly on the hunt to find influencers who know about celebrities entangled in the Diddy crime and civil cases. Now, if you remember this morning, we talked about the young lady. She no longer lived at the apartment. They knocked on the door. They talked to her past roommate. The YouTuber was live. She said, I'm going to call you right back. She called her back in 5-10 minutes. She said, what's going on? She said, somebody is here looking for you and they're asking about you and your YouTube page and the celebrities you cover and Diddy. So the young lady said, hey, what do you mean they're at the door? So the girl asked questions. Let's go. It's easier for me to pull it up. So the girl can tell you what happened. So there are people allegedly, this is going to be a problem. If there's allegedly private investigators trying to find out whether YouTubers or TikTokers have been paid to talk about Diddy, that's going to be a concern. So let's pull it up because some people weren't here this morning. Like the video, press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Let's get to the clip. Thanks for being here, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to get to 33K, but let's get to this real quick before he comes back. And
she sent me so we can get verbatim.
Her page is AMALA, and it's EKPUNOBI.
Exactly what happened here. She called first, and I was filming, so I didn't pick up the call. The call goes through, and she says, call me so you can tell these guys you are not interested in ads. They're at my door. I'm being a bitch, is what Risa says. And I said, LOL, can I just call you in 1 minute? I'm thinking, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why 2 guys would be at your door asking about ads, but here we are in the story. So I finish up filming my video. I call Risa. It's been a few minutes at this point. Apparently these guys are still at the door. Immediately when I pick up the phone, she's like, okay, when she picks up the phone, you're on speaker.
You're on speaker.
And I'm like, what is going on? So one guy starts to speak up, and I'm sensing like a little bit of nervousness in his voice, but he's still there. He's talking. He's got what I would say is like a medium to thick-ish New York accent. And he's saying, we just wanted to come and talk to you about the things that you speak about on your channel and, whether or not somebody pays you to say the things that you say. And it was a very just vague question. I didn't know exactly how to answer that. So I answered back and said, nobody pays me to say anything that I say on my channel. You guys know we've tried a couple sponsors on this show once or twice long ago. We've had no sponsors.
So like I said, there's investigators that's going out, alleged, trying to talk to YouTubers and allegedly TikTokers. I don't know there was TikTokers. She mentioned alleged earlier today that there's 10 people that they're trying to go to their homes, ask them questions. Are you being paid? Are you being paid to talk about Diddy? And can we help you change the narrative? And are you being paid to talk about other celebrities? So like I said, I can't confirm or deny. This page cannot confirm or deny if these people know Diddy or if these people know other celebrities. Let's talk about it. Media 21 cannot confirm or deny. All comments are alleged, but let's continue because they're allegedly going to different YouTubers and bloggers trying to distract information and see if they can put out a better narrative. What did we say earlier this week? Diddy is trying to change the narrative. Didn't I tell y'all? I did not think investigators, whoever they are, because there's a lot of celebrity that's being talked about, y'all. There's a lot of celebrities that's being talked about. So that's why I keep saying we can't confirm or deny if they have something to do with Diddy, because this is coming from TMZ. It is basically saying private investigators are allegedly on the hunt to find influencers who know about celebrities entangled in Diddy's crimes and civil cases. That's what is being said, because remember, we didn't know who these investigators are. So going over to TMZ, allegedly it shows pictures of who these investigators are. So let her continue to talk to y'all. Like the video, fair use, until Law Crimes comes back.
Since we get paid, through YouTube ad revenue and
yes, we do.
The ad revenue from different platforms, but nobody's paying me directly to say anything. Now he goes on to say, to sort of talk about topics that I talk about on this show. And the immediate topic that he jumps to is, you talk about P. Diddy and celebrities. Mind you, again, this guy's stumbling over his words, and he's not necessarily sounding so fluent in whatever message he's trying to get across. And I put this on speaker. So mind you, Taylor is on Zoom from Nashville. I have the phone to this microphone here. He's listening to everything that's being said. Risa is also there listening to everything that's being said. Okay, so I tell them, I'm not paid by anybody to do this. Why is it that you're asking these things? What are you interested in doing or hearing? And they said, if you were being paid by people to promote a certain message, we were here to, offer you something else. And again, they go through the topics that I talk about on my show, and immediately it's P. Diddy and his connection to other celebrities. So all the red flags are going up. In my mind here, hairs up on the back of my neck. I actually shot Risa a text at this very moment in the conversation and said something along the lines of, get away from these guys. I'll actually go back and read it so I know exactly what I said. Get away from this guy. Because at this point, only one man was speaking. Again, white man, thick.
I think the door is closed. I don't think the young lady let the gentleman in her apartment. So everybody needs to be aware. This is why we do this. Everybody needs to be aware. If somebody comes to your home, knocks on your door, trying to find out if they want to know whether you are being paid to make videos on Diddy or other celebrities, beware. Record it, call the police. Get your Ring cameras, figure out who these people are. This is not good. Like the video,
New York accent. Now, I'm probing this guy. Who do you work for? What is it that you're trying to pay me to do? Who are you inquiring about? What specifically are you asking me? Am I being paid to say on my channel? And this guy is just stumbling over his words. He doesn't know what to say. He starts saying, I watch your channel. I'm a fan of your show. I appreciate the things you talk about. And then he goes back to the whole P. Diddy and this topic and this topic and this topic. So whoever was with this guy.
Okay, so they trying to come back. This is the young lady that was just speaking. 2 private investigators came to her home. So let's get back to this Diddy stuff, and then we'll get back to her. Like the video, like the video.
All right, welcome
They're
back to
back.
Law and Crime, everybody. So we are having this special coverage right now
They were
of
on a
Sean
break,
Diddy Combs'
so
case. He was just in that courtroom where there was an issue, a discussion about whether or not the government violated.
thanks for being
the
here, everyone.
attorney-client
Press 3 if
privilege,
you know where you're
violated his
watching from. Don't forget to
constitutional
subscribe to the
rights by
channel.
improperly taking or photographing material from his jail cell. And at the end of the day, the judge said there is certain material that will now no longer be discussed on Friday when the issue of Sean Combs' bail comes into play. And the issue of whether or not there was an attorney-client privilege violation, that's going to take a little bit more time, could take several weeks. But in the immediate effect is that certain parts of what the government was planning to introduce or argue will not come in on Friday. Now, we are joined by Elizabeth Milner, Law and Crime's very own, who is inside that courtroom, inside that federal courtroom. Elizabeth, talk to us about what the scene was like, the atmosphere, what Sean Combs looked like. Was his family there? Because unfortunately, we don't have cameras. You are our eyes and ears.
Yeah, that's right, Jesse. And of course, I brought my handy dandy notebook once again because, as you just mentioned, no electronic devices unless you have a particular permit and an order from the judge are you allowed to bring that inside federal courtroom. So we had to do it the old-fashioned way, a pen and paper and a notebook. So I actually got into courtroom the courthouse, I should say, around 2:15, and thank goodness I did because it really paid off because it was kind of stacked as far as a lot of press trying to get inside that hearing, and I was very lucky to be able to sit inside the gallery because a lot of journalists were worried that they weren't even going to be able to make it into the hearing. The hearing was on a completely different floor than it was last time in a lot smaller of a courtroom, and really lucked out being able to sit in the gallery kind of on the right side, just like I was sitting last hearing in October. But you know, a big difference in this hearing compared to last is Diddy's family wasn't even inside the courtroom. They didn't appear inside court today, likely because this was an emergency hearing and we just got notification of it literally yesterday. So no sign of his sons, no signs of his daughters, no signs of his mother inside that courtroom here. But one thing that, and I guess I should say, it doesn't really surprise me as much anymore, but it is Diddy's demeanor. I was expecting, because his family wasn't here, for him to be a little bored,
were you guys
more
surprised his
somber,
family
a
wasn't
little
there?
more defeated in a way, but that is not Diddy. Literally his motto, besides being a bad boy for life, is can't stop, won't stop, and you cannot stop that confidence that he has when he appears inside the courtroom. I was very surprised to see that he had come inside. He had kind of smiled at the gallery. I felt in a way he even made eye contact with me, which was very kind of bizarre in a way, but at the same time, he was just appearing as that confident Sean Diddy Combs that we have seen plenty of times in the images, of course, in the stories that we have covered prior. And again, he was an enamored figure once ago, but you know, you would think that being about to be on trial for sex trafficking charges, that he would feel defeated. Being in a detention center for the last 2 months, he would feel defeated, but that was not the case. He appeared very jovial. He was very very focused in the sense of when the defense was making their arguments to the judge, Combs was sitting at the defense table, nodding his head along. He was taking notes. He was passing notes to his defense attorneys. But then at the same time, you could also tell, going back to when he had first come inside that courtroom, was that I think he recognizes that a lot of people are watching him. There's never going to be a moment out of our mouths that we say Sean Combs looked defeated, because again, all eyes are on him. So he's going to make sure everyone is aware that he is in upper or higher spirits, I should say, as he's kind of battling this very heavy court case. But again, when he was inside that courtroom, he was very laser focused. He was, when the judge was asking about the notes and the whole debacle that was going on about that, Combs appeared very adamant that these were legal notes that were taken. They did violate attorney-client privilege. But again, you know, what else are we expecting from a man other than Sean Diddy Combs?
Like the video,
There's
like
one
the
thing
video.
that's so interesting about that description. Two things. One, you know, the first time we heard Sean Combs recently was on that happy birthday call from his family, and he actually sounded on the other line jovial. So I'm not surprised you saying that he kind of has this upbeat mentality. I am very curious about the judge's demeanor. So we were reading kind of the transcript about what the judge was saying, but in your best guess, the way the judge was responding to the prosecution, did he seem annoyed at the prosecution? Did he seem to be more aligned with the defense? Because based on the transcript, it seemed he was not only open to the defense's accusations, the defense's claims, but he seemed to side with them a little bit. What was his demeanor like?
Yeah, for sure. And you picked that up 1000%, even from outside the courthouse. And it felt that way too. It felt like the judge was very no nonsense. The judge had a lot of follow-up questions for the government and their arguments about what kind of occurred, how it occurred, all of that sort. And so it did appear that the defense was going to get a win in this case. Obviously, we're going to have to wait and see how Friday all plays out. But I gather that the judge was very much no nonsense when it comes to kind of siding with the defense on whether or not that Fourth Amendment and that attorney-client privilege was violated. And I thought for a second there, the government didn't sound as kind of put together as they should have been, because in this case, when you're dealing with somebody like Sean Diddy Combs, you have to cross your T's, dot all your I's, and make sure your ducks are in a row. So I was actually kind of surprised at the government's arguments of everything that kind of occurred, where it was either that, they didn't feel the defense needed to hear or see these types of items. They didn't feel that they needed to be in their possession. And so the judge kind of called them out on it. And I was very surprised that, thinking that the defense would get a win in this argument, but we're going to continue, to wait and see how this all plays out, especially on Friday.
Yeah, it's interesting because maybe the prosecution wasn't prepared, because this was a kind of an emergency hearing requested by the defense. They were probably making sense of what had happened themselves with the filter team and investigator one from the Bureau of Prisons who obtained this material from Sean Combs' jail cell. But look, interesting development. We're going to cover more on Friday. Elizabeth Milner, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Like the video, you guys. Like the video.
Now, again, we're going to be on Fridays when we're going to have this bail hearing, and we're going to do the same kind of coverage because I think that is going to be really interesting. I want to get some final perspective right now from Natalie Winningham-Burrell, criminal defense attorney. Your final reaction to the day's events, and also what we can anticipate on Friday with the issue of bail.
I think that we should prepare to be surprised with bail on Friday, because although it is more likely than not that Diddy will remain to be held, he now has an avenue for release. And my major impression here is that the prosecution made a huge mistake in intercepting that attorney-client privilege communication. They could have had that clean team do the raid and then hand over all the items to the court so the court can make a determination of what's attorney-client privilege. They didn't do that. And I think that's why Elizabeth is expressing that they were kind of caught flat-footed. They made a big strategic...
Are these mistakes being made on purpose, y'all? Real talk. Let's take a step back. Everything. I don't put stuff past anybody. These people know the law. They know when you can go in, don't go in, what you can touch, can't touch. There's a special team that does this. We got to keep an eye on the plays here and what's happening. I don't put stuff past people. I don't. Looking for a mistrial, wanting a mistrial. This has happened, and this was prior to him seeking release. You guys did that knowing that he was going to have a hearing about trying to get released. That happened prior to the release. Like I said, a judge jury will have to decide if there's any wrongdoing on Diddy's side. But I keep an eye on everything. And I watch the play on everything. And certain stuff I trust, certain stuff I don't, and certain stuff I give a side eye to. If they've done this before, they know what to touch and not to touch. They know, and see, that may be what they're seeking. That may be what they're seeking, a mistrial. That may be what they're seeking. Then we got the allegations about these alleged investigators going out talking to channels and YouTubers and TikTokers. Who are these investigators? So you got to remember too, they allegedly swiped his cell. Diddy has known what his plans are. Diddy has known in regards to his calls, in regards to the three ways. Diddy knows this.
CNN.
So he's done stuff.
It is beyond dispute that a defendant may not be tried in shackles.
That's something different. So Diddy knows what he's got going on. Diddy knows what he's trying to do. So there's at fault in both sides. There continues to be fault at both sides. Because remember, they were questioning Diddy's lawyer for speaking to TMZ. Remember, Diddy's lawyer was saying something about the baby oil. Remember that? So Diddy was trying to put a gag order on and trying to silence the media. That didn't work. So now you got a swipe of his cell, whether that was private information, attorney-client information. Did it break any rules? Has he been breaking any rules? This is a messy case, y'all. This is a messy, messy, messy case. This is a messy case. And you got to think, did he know a lot of higher ups? He know a lot of higher ups. He know a lot of higher ups, mayors, politicians. He probably know people that's in the feds. Okay, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. Let's try and get a mistrial. Okay, we can do this, we can do this. You got to be careful because it's going to be stuff on both sides. I'm just cautious, y'all. I'm cautious. And I'm wondering what's really going on. Let me see if I can pull this guy back up. I don't know why it exited out of him, but let's pull him back up. Oh, so this video is, okay, so he went, I think he ended the video. That's probably what happened. He may be doing, he may be cleaning it up, which is fine. He may be cleaning it up. That's why the video ended. Or he had just ended the video. So everybody's talking about the private investigator coming to people's houses and knocking on doors. So let's continue with this part of it, because people missed the video this morning. Like the video, press 3 if you're new, where you're watching from. Press 3 if you're new, where you're watching from. It seems as if there's still another court hearing for Diddy for Friday. So let's continue to listen to the young lady in regards to the 2 private investigators coming to her house. And like I just reported, TMZ reported on that as well. More and more people are talking about what we spoke about this morning. Like the video. Okay, let's get to, I'm still waiting for the ad to pass by. Let me go to TMZ, pull that up, because people are just now coming in. It's basically stating, okay, it's basically, hold on, that's not it. Okay, there it is. It's basically stating private investigators approach TikTokers about celebrity connections to alleged Diddy. So what it's basically saying, private investigators are allegedly on the hunt to find influencers who know about celebrities entangled in the Diddy crimes and civil cases, allege. And now the LAPD is involved. Yeah, the LAPD is involved because you can't just be going up to people's doors asking if you know anything and if you're getting paid to make videos about Diddy. So let's continue with her clip. Fair use, go to her page, let her know that we're sending people over there if you want to listen to the whole clip. Her channel is AMALA EKPUNOBI. So that's her page. So she's the first one that's talked about it. I haven't yet heard if any TikTokers have reported. So let's go back a little bit. Okay. Like the video. We talked about this morning. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Please don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to hit 33K. We're trying to hit 33K. So if I can please get 288 to subscribe, and please continue to hit the like button. Let's continue with the clip.
At this very moment in the conversation, and said like something along the lines of get away from these guys. I'll actually go back and read it so I know exactly what I said. Get away from this guy. Because at this point, only one man was speaking. Again, white man, thick-ish New York accent. Now, I'm probing this guy. Who do you work for? What is it that you're trying to pay me to do? Who are you inquiring about? What specifically are you asking me? Am I being paid to say on my channel? And this guy is just stumbling over his words. He doesn't know what to say. He starts saying, I watch your channel. I'm a fan of your show. I appreciate the things you talk about. And then he goes back to the whole P. Diddy and this topic and this topic and this topic. So whoever was with this guy, presumably his boss, and at least this is what he explains himself to be, a second guy jumps into the conversation. Now, this guy sounds a little bit more confident than the last guy. And he jumps in and he says, oh, well, we're just here to ask you whether or not you've been paid to talk about this specific topic on your channel. And if so, we want to know who is paying you. But now that we know that, nobody's paying you, there's no further information we need to gather,
No further information. Like the video, like the video. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Is this the first time that you're hearing that alleged private investigators are targeting YouTubers and TikTokers? Is this the first time you're hearing about it? Let's continue. Like the video, like the video. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 5 if you've been here before and where you're watching from. And if I can please get 300 people to please subscribe. We're trying to hit 33K. Thank you, thank you. Hello, Michigan, am I? Welcome, welcome.
We're going to see ourselves out and it will be okay. I keep pressing them. Who, again, are you here to talk about? Who is paying you to be here? Who are you asking about? Like, who do you work for? And they
Hello, South Carolina. Hello, Nebraska. So we can't still confirm or deny if they know Diddy, working for Diddy, but why are the investigators going to TikTokers and YouTube pages to find out what they know and why they're talking about Diddy? Are they doing that same thing to TMZ? Because TMZ didn't report on it. TMZ found out that TikTokers and YouTubers are being contacted. But why are they not doing the same thing with TMZ? Because TMZ is actually doing a documentary. Let's continue. Like the video, fair use, reaction clip.
in the conversation sort of slip in that they're investigating or they're investigators. Sorry for my foggy memory as to the exact wording of it. But that sort of put off something in my brain where I'm like, okay, so you guys are investigating whether or not I've been paid to say something, but also you're here to offer me money, but also you came to the door and said that you were inquiring about ads and whether or not I'm sponsored by certain people. So I directly asked them, it seems like you guys came to this door under false pretenses, and now you're saying that you're investigating something. So which one is it? Are you here to pay and take up ad space or be a sponsor, or are you here investigating something? And then finally they come out in this conversation and say that they're private investigators and they will not disclose who they've been paid by, who they are working for.
See? And there was a TikToker, there was a YouTuber that was like, okay, come to my house. Mess around and find out. I would have took pictures. I would have got the Ring camera. I would have went to the neighbor's house. Let me get that Ring camera out of you. Let's see the faces. Let's see the license plates. Yeah. Not legal advice, but I would have been on one. She did a great job of handling. She was asking who they are, who they work for, their LLC. She did a great job trying to figure out who these people were. Because if I'm not mistaken, she's the first that talked about it. Other people might have just been scared, didn't want to say anything. The YouTuber is the first one that talked about it. Like the video. Please don't forget to subscribe. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew. So, in the video, she talked about the different celebrities she's talked about. In the video, she talked about the different celebrities she's talked about. Diddy is not the only one. So that might also be that some celebrities might be getting shaken and concerned about their brands and their companies. Like the video.
But essentially the story that I got is that they are traveling around and I guess knocking the doors of different influencers who are having conversations about these topics, about P. Diddy and his connections to celebrities, to see whether or not they've been funded by somebody to start having these conversations. And they're trying to decipher what that is. And they said through their investigating into people talking about P. Diddy and his connection to influencers, they found that a lot of the conversations are just being had by bots. Like bots are just spamming this information out on the internet. I don't know anything about that.
Me neither.
I have no idea what they're talking about there.
Me neither. But
they go on to, explain that this is what they're doing. And then they say, we'll pay for you to disclose who would be paying you. And we'll also pay more on top of whatever it is they're paying you to sort of push the opposite story. Now they don't explain.
See, they're wanting the opposite story pushed. Can't confirm or deny if they know Diddy or somebody's trying to help him, but they don't want to say they're helping him. There's a lot going on, y'all. There's a lot going on. And I'm trying to stay on top of this. So you got to subscribe so you stay tuned for when the tea is dropped. Like the video, fair use, reaction clip.
What the opposite story. Again, they don't explain who they're working for. So I'm asking them again, who hired you to
Right.
be here?
Right.
Who is the one who is making sure that you're at my door right now asking, not my door, but a door that I used to live at, asking these questions? They won't say who.
Yep.
Then I'm saying, okay, if you guys are private investigators, what is the name of your LLC or what is the name of your corporation?
Exactly.
Give me that, because you're willing to own up to the fact that you're being private investigators. Which company is this person paying to? They won't say. They even go as far as to say, we don't have an LLC and we don't have a corporation. Whoever their client is paying them directly to their name. Now, I did get names from these.
So I told y'all, things is getting messy about the swipe of his cell. Things are getting messy in regards to these private investigators. Things are getting messy, y'all. Like the video, press 3 if you knew where you're watching from, press 3 if you knew where you're watching from, press 5 if you've been here before, and there's about 272 in the building. Did you guys subscribe to the page? We're trying to get to 33K. Please subscribe, please turn on the notification bell. Please continue to hit the like button. It's free to subscribe, and it's free to hit the like button. Double tap the screen, hit the thumbs up above the video, below the video. Thanks for hitting the likes, you guys. Hello, UK, hello. Welcome. South Carolina, Nebraska, welcome. Thank you for liking. I appreciate you.
Guys, I won't say the full names out on this channel, but they did give me 2 names. So we're currently looking into who these 2 private investigators are who were hired by some sort of outside organization or celebrity or firm.
Now, will these be the same investigators that TMZ found? Because TMZ just reported on it. Thanks for subbing. I appreciate you.
Or somebody to travel around. They would give no information as to the company that they work for. Apparently they're working, independent, but also in tandem. And when they get paid, it's paid to their name. And, I have
almost so that there's almost alleged no trace. Who knows what celebrity, what situation, how much do they know? Okay, because you got to take a step back, y'all. Think about it. Right now, Attorney Busby is having concerns with alleged extortion. We can't confirm or deny if Attorney Tony Busby did anything in regards to extortion, but the civil lawsuits were moving forward, right? Now it's been halted. Many people were wondering, where was Attorney Busby? Because he went hard for a while. He presented almost 6 or 7 cases one week, and then he presented 6 or 7 cases another week, and then he presented 1 or 2. So he was quiet. People are like, what's going on? Now there's allegations in regards to someone is trying to state Attorney Busby is trying to extort them. Attorney Busby has been an attorney for 30 years. I would hope that he would know what to say, what not to say. And remember, Ray J was the one that told us there's a lot of celebrities that want stories to go away. There's a lot of celebrities that want stories to go away. So you never know if somebody was sent to talk to Attorney Busby in a certain way where it would be extortion. I keep my eye on everything. I do. So everybody got to watch the play. Everybody got to pay attention because Diddy has been able to do whatever. And like I said, a judge or jury will have to decide if there's any wrongdoing on Diddy's side. He's innocent until proven guilty, but you got to pay attention to all the plays that's going on in the industry. Ray J crashing out, many celebrities saying, oh, I'm relocating because of new president. You might be wanting to relocate, sweetie, because of if you have connections to. But we try and keep it general over here in regards to celebrities. But let's continue with the clip. So we're going to pay attention to Attorney Busby extortion alleged, Diddy's cell getting swiped and alleged did they, break his 4th, 5th, or 6th Amendment. He has a hearing coming up again still on Friday. There's a new judge. He has racketeering. He has traffic. So he has a lot going on. And if you're not up on stuff, you'll miss something. So there are law pages that are on Pacer, and they look up information almost every week, and they can tell us what's literally going on in regards to the case stuff. So a lot of times when I play y'all clips, y'all can kind of generally understand what those clips are because I've heard that same thing from the law page. So I'm just allowing myself to go to the news, and the news will tell us what's going on. So we can hear it from somebody that's knowledgeable. It's not me just trying to present it to you. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of moving pieces, Why didn't they go to TMZ and do that? They did not. They went to alleged YouTubers and TikTokers. Alleged. Let's continue. Like the video. Thanks for being here, everyone.
No clue exactly what's going on here. I'm trying to think of any further information that I would have gleaned from them. They also said, since nobody's paying you, you're not going to see us again. We don't have any other questions for you. There's no further movement in this process.
They shouldn't have knocked on her door anyway. Like the video.
Process. They claimed they had a list of 10 other influencers. I don't know if they're 10 other influencers, in California, 10 other influencers, nationwide.
Yep.
But apparently 10 other people who they're going to visit to ask this question and presumably offer them money if they've been paid by somebody to talk about it.
So I'm about to switch. So there's supposed to be 10 more influencers that they're trying to contact. Hello, everyone. Like the video. Thanks for subbing. Hello, UK. Hello, South Carolina. I'm switching tablets.
There's no further movement in this process. They claimed they had a list of 10 other influencers. I don't know if they're 10 other influencers, in California, 10 other influencers, nationwide, but apparently 10 other people who they're going to visit to ask this question and presumably offer them money if they've been paid by somebody to talk about this.
See?
They mentioned that they had come from Detroit.
See?
So apparently they were visiting somebody in Detroit and had knocked their door to ask them these questions. Y'all, I don't know what's going on. Now, there's a few different arenas we can go into with these guys visiting. The whole conversation ended somewhat amicably. I said, you know what, forgive me for being hostile, but I have no idea who you are or what you're doing or what pretenses you are coming to this person's door under.
Thank you, sweetest cat, for telling everyone to double tap the screen. Get the likes up, everyone. I'm bringing y'all to TTT. We covered this first thing this morning. We was up on it. Even when I'm with family, I try and save stuff so y'all know what's going on. Like the video. And thank you, everyone. We hit 33K. We went from 3,000 subscribers a month and a half ago. We hit 33K, everyone. So thank you for subscribing. Yay, we hit it today. Thank you, everyone, for subscribing. I appreciate you.
And I need that information. And they just essentially say, oh, you're not going to hear anything more from us. We're investigators. We're former law enforcement. Apparently they're from New York.
Former law enforcement. I've never heard of this happening. It's almost like a shakedown for YouTubers and TikTokers. Like the video.
And now that they've gotten this information from me, I'm never going to see them again. And that's it. Who knows whether or not any of that is true? Who knows whether or not the names they gave me are true?
Right.
Who knows whether or not these guys are actual private investigators?
Right.
Y'all, I have no clue. But it was very clear, and I told them, in the way you're asking me these questions, it's very clear that you're here to ask me about P. Diddy and these celebrities. So just be forward about that. Why would you come to the door and ask this very vague question? And clearly they didn't know much about YouTube content. They didn't know much about how to pitch this to people.
Yep.
And they were just trying to get somebody to admit that I have been paid so that they could go down whatever route they were going to go down once they figured that out.
And who isn't covering this topic? A lot of people cover the topic every few days. Diddy's a trending topic. He's been trending for almost 6 months, from the Cassie to the Little Rod. He's been trending. So why would they think that people aren't just going to do a video on what's trending? It pops up on Hollywood Unlocked, Neighborhood Talk, Shade Room. It pops up. There's more and more information that comes out on Diddy every week. Like the video. Let's continue.
Luckily, I don't live there. Luckily, I got on the phone to be able to speak with them. But had I said I was paid by somebody, where does it go from there? And what were these guys actually here to do?
Right.
I don't know.
At best, they're paying you for something.
So now her producer's going to speak out. You guys be careful. I told y'all. In regards to the tapes, don't mention people's names. This is not legal advice, just my opinion. In regards to the tapes, don't get no tape. Don't look at no tape. If there's somebody that sends you something, you better contact the police. In regards to this Diddy stuff, be careful what you say, do, and keep record. Press record. If there's a concern that you got going on, call the law. Make sure you contact your neighbors if there's something going on. Let me get that ring camera video. Let me make a copy of that. Let me send that to the police. Be cautious, because don't forget, Diddy allegedly was trying to send a gag order. Remember that? And he was trying to silence the media. He was trying to silence the media. She's talked about other celebrities outside of Diddy. Let's continue. Like the video.
And then at worst, something else. And
This is her producer.
Think about what that would be. But I'm so used to saying allegedly when we have these conversations, like allegedly this is happening, allegedly that happened, allegedly this celebrity, that celebrity. But this was real life. This literally happened. It literally showed up on your former doorstep and spoke. I was there listening on the phone. I heard the whole conversation. Your roommate's right there. She can recognize their faces now at this point. So
right.
This is getting real. And in case you were wondering whether this is all a conspiracy theory, someone is out there with enough resources to pay.
And did you notice that they did not want to tell the company they work for what their LLC number is? They wanted to say hush hush, but they wanted information out of her. Did you catch that, T? Let's continue. This is her producer speaking because he was on the other end. So it was the old roommate, her producer, and her.
Investigators to look up influencers, show up on their doorsteps, and presumably attempt to bribe them to disclose who is paying them and or to spread opposite information about.
And catch this, T. YouTubers, bloggers got to be cautious of what they say, because I'm not even going to say that. There's people that's saying stuff they shouldn't be saying. That's all I'm going to say. But that's why I'm always like, allege. I don't know. I wasn't there. That's why I always say Diddy is innocent until proven guilty. That's why I always say a judge and jury was going to have to decide, because y'all have to pay attention that there's stuff that's going on that we don't know about. He's been able to finagle the industry and make moves, and he's been able to get away with stuff for 25, 30 plus years. Allege. People got to be cautious. Real talk. And a YouTuber last night, he was going in. He said, go ahead and come to my house. He had stuff in his hands. I ain't going to say what he had in his hands, but he had stuff in his hands. He said, go ahead and come on into my house. Because when you come in my house, that's when it's going to be an issue. So a lot of YouTubers aren't playing. They didn't go to TMZ. They are going to YouTubers' homes, knocking on their door. Mess around and find out. Some cities and states, I would immediately call the police. The police will be there in no time. She was live, so they still could have called the police, and the police probably would have been there by the time she got off the live. They stayed until she got off the live. Like the video. She didn't do nothing wrong. I'm just saying, many people are gonna say they would do things different because they would. They know who's around them, what sources they have. They know when the po-pos come to their house, how long it take. So I'm not shading. My page don't do that. I think she did a great job because she just got off a live. She probably didn't expect someone to go to her old house. Her roommate is there, probably scared. They're outside the door asking questions about her page and the post she makes and the topics she's talking about. Don't forget, this young lady has 2.2 million subscribers. So she's a big page. She has been on YouTube for a while. So in speaking with them, they didn't know YouTube lingo. So they're basically saying, who's paying you to make these videos? These Hollywood celebrities, Hollywood, they're scared. They're scared out of their britches. They're scared. Continue to like the video. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Celebrities and or P. Diddy. So that in itself is happening, and we don't have to say allegedly about that.
Right. And I'm just wondering, okay, so there's so many different ways this could go. Like, what was the goal here? I mean, if we're going to take them at their word, which was complete word salad. When I tell you, the first guy I spoke to was so nervous in whatever his initial pitch. Yeah, literally Kamala Harris speaking to me on the phone. He could not give me a straight answer to anything that I asked him, which I'm like, if you're a really good private investigator, like, wouldn't you be really good at like your pitch to people about why you're at their doorstep and trying to get this information? Or were you just not ready to be met with hostility about why you're on somebody's doorstep asking these questions?
And since there's so many pages that's all around the world, I'm wondering if they're getting people just to assist and help. I wonder if they're getting different investigators in different cities so they don't have to pay a bunch of people to fly around to try and find out if people are. A lot of people are being paid by YouTube. Like the video, like the video. So some of these people probably don't even know what to say or do. They're probably getting information from a boss of a boss, and they're traveling around and they're saying, here's the address. Like the video, like the video. We can't still confirm or deny if these people even know Diddy or if they're trying to assist or help Diddy. Because Diddy probably don't want his name attached to this. That's why I keep saying I can't confirm or deny. Like the video.
Thought that was going to like blow over smoothly? Did you think you were going to be dealing with like a dumb influencer who doesn't know anything and is just going to take you up on the idea that you're here to ask them about paying them for a certain message on their doorstep?
See?
So very, very strange. So if I take them at their word, then I guess a celebrity somewhere in the realm of what we've spoken about on this channel has hired somebody to go around and speak to these influencers to pay them to put out positive press about them, or at the very least to maybe stop talking about them, or to find out if there's some other larger entity that is making sure that influencers go after them. Now, who that celebrity could be, I have no idea. In regard to P. Diddy, I'm like thinking through our content. Who have we spoken about? Of course, we've spoken about Sean Diddy Combs. We've spoken about, Beyonce and Jay-Z. We've spoken about J-Lo. We've spoken about Oprah. Cardi, Sprinkle.
See, you gotta catch that T, who she spoke about? She just said who she spoke about. Like the video, like the video.
In a few times here and there, but no like direct accusations or allegations against these people. Jay-Z, I think, is the most we've really like laid out maybe some concerns allegedly about who he is as an individual. So what were these people there for? Were they hired by a celebrity and somebody who's just trying to put out good PR for themselves? Was it something more nefarious than that? Are they trying to go?
Or was it several celebrities meeting up saying, we gotta hush this down? A lot of us celebrities are being dragged. A lot of celebrities are being silent. A lot of the celebrities aren't really talking about or standing up. A lot of those celebrities, I said, might have been under an NDA. We don't know. But a lot of celebrities are quiet, and it's affecting their brands. Remember how Bow Wow said, it's so quiet. There's hardly any parties going on. We would know whenever there was a award show, Diddy would always have some kind of event or party. So everyone's saying it's silent. It's quiet in the industry. But this is what we need to say too. Hollywood, some of these celebrities need to be exposed if they've done any wrongdoing or if they've broken the law, period. 2024, Cat Williams told us, 2024, people will be exposed. Like the video, let's continue.
After the influencers that are talking about these things, are they trying to intimidate them? I've reached out to a few people in the space who are talking about similar stories to see if they've had any encounters like this. So far, no hits back. But if there's anybody who's watching this who is talking about these stories, who has experienced this, please reach out to me and let's see if the stories at all match up with what's going on here. But I am not going forth quietly about this. Immediately after this happened, I'm like, okay, we have to go and we have to talk about this publicly. There's no way for whatever this situation.
Proud of her for going live and telling, because that's going to keep everybody else on high alert to call the police, call the feds, call somebody, because there's no telling if they're trying to get YouTubers or bloggers caught up in some of this legal stuff. You get what I'm saying? Like the video, like the video.
Situation is, it needs to be out there that this happened so that people know that this took place. Now, we do have this news story out today, literally covered today, this morning by ABC News, and this is about Sean Diddy Combs and what he's doing leading up to his prospective trial with witnesses and this, that, and the other. Let's watch.
The latest on Sean Diddy Combs.
We're about to listen to Robin Roberts. I did play this video either yesterday or today, but we did talk about this. Let's continue to listen. Robin Roberts is speaking now.
Prosecutors are accusing Combs of trying to contact prospective witnesses and obstruct the case against him.
Alleged.
Our senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky, is here with more on that. Good morning to you, Aaron.
Good morning, Robin. Sean Combs is going to be asking a judge this week to release him on bail, but prosecutors now say the argument for detention has only gotten stronger.
See?
This morning, federal prosecutors are accusing Sean Diddy Combs of escalating his attempts to influence the jury pool and subvert his criminal case. Almost immediately after arriving at the federal jail in Brooklyn, prosecutors say Combs started using telephone accounts of at least 8 other inmates to call people not on his approved contact list.
Can nobody hold me?
So 8 other people.
Forces at your disposal.
Hold on.
This Instagram post by Diddy's kids.
Happy birthday to Daddy.
Prosecutors say Combs enlisted family members to plan and execute a social media campaign.
So is this why some of the family didn't show up to court today? Will they show up to court Friday? Maybe because there was an emergency hearing, maybe, alleged. Maybe that's why they didn't show up today. But will they show up Friday? Let's see. Because if he's trying to bring the family into his issues and drama, I keep saying he needs to keep the family out of it. Period. Let's continue. Let me go back a little bit.
Are talking about similar...
Subvert his criminal case. Almost immediately after arriving at the federal jail in Brooklyn, prosecutors say Combs started using telephone accounts of at least 8 other inmates to call people not on his approved contact list.
Intertwined.
Wait.
Good morning to you, Aaron.
Good morning, Robin. Sean Combs going to be asking a judge this week to release him on bail, but prosecutors now say the argument for detention has only gotten stronger. This morning, federal prosecutors are accusing Sean Diddy Combs.
Let me go
of
forward
escalating.
again. Hold on. To where it talked about the kids.
Daddy.
Prosecutors say Combs enlisted family members to plan and execute a social media campaign around the defendant's birthday. The first time we heard his voice from behind bars.
Oh, thank y'all for being strong and thank y'all for being by my side and supporting me. I love y'all. You're the best family in the world.
Prosecutors say Combs then monitored audience engagement from the video.
If the judge, in fact, feels as though Diddy is trying...
Diddy was trying to look at the analytics, y'all, in regards to his birthday post. Like the video, like the video.
To circumvent the rules of the prison, and he's doing things outside of what he's allowed to do, that's going to carry a lot of weight when we talk about being released on bail, because what they're trusting is that you will abide by the rules that allow you to be out.
Combs.
Now, the one thing that I didn't catch, maybe it was presented earlier, they talked about the cell getting, them going into people's cell, and there was a swipe or a raid or whatever they want to call it. They talked about that. Now, was there a distraction? Was people hired to go and do the raid, do the swipe of people's cell? And are they trying to get a mistrial? Are they trying to get a mistrial? I'm telling y'all, they said that the swipe of the raid was scheduled prior to Diddy even getting there, though. Was it? Was it, though? Like the video, like the video.
Has been held in jail since his September arrest on racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and prostitution charges. He has pleaded not guilty.
Okay. So he's doing that with, witnesses. I have no direct link to any of these individuals. In fact, I'm just a YouTuber who has tangentially covered some of these stories that are circulating as this news comes out.
Right.
So it does lead me to theorize that some sort of celebrity that is intertwined in the stories that are being spoken about here has maybe hired somebody to go out here and to reach out to influencers who are talking about these things in hopes of maybe finding someone higher who is funding them, or having them sign an NDA, or getting them to shut up about it, or even better than that, getting them to put out more positive press about the celebrity, or sort of walk back on the stories that they're talking about, because they mentioned it on several occasions while they were at her door paying money.
So we listened to Ray J this morning. Is he sounding a little different to y'all? Remember, Ray J said he talked to the Combs children. So is Ray J now trying to put out a slightly different narrative? I asked you. Like the video.
To change the narrative, or paying money to share the opposite story, or paying money to get me to say a certain thing. But interestingly enough, as soon as they found out I was not paid to talk about the initial stories, that offer was seemingly off the table. They only wanted to offer that to people who had been paid previously to share the stories that they're sharing, which makes red flags go up in my mind. It makes me think you just want the person to admit, yeah, I'm being paid by somebody, by sort of coaxing it out of them by offering them money. What happens after they admit that they were paid by somebody? Are you really going to...
Now, we got to think about it. Didn't his band member Dirty Money, didn't she try and change the narrative? Maybe that didn't work, and that's why this alleged is happening. Didn't Stevie J just speak up last week? He's trying to paint a different narrative of how heartbroken Diddy was in regards to the Cassie video, and Harvey asked Stevie J a lot of good questions. And then didn't his son say he's going to take over Diddy's Instagram account to start putting out a better narrative about the dad? And all the positive thing he's done? Everything is happening, and is occurring for a reason. We don't know who is alleged, because we still can't confirm or deny if these investigators know Diddy, or if they're trying to help Diddy, or if they're trying to help other celebrities to quiet the storm. Like the video. We're going to keep an eye on it, though.
For them money to share the opposite narrative? I don't know. It seemed more like a carrot dangled so that they could get the information about who hired them or paid them to say what it is they said.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't know.
It's tough.
And you figure she got 2.3 million subscribers. They would go to her first, whoever they are. She has a large page. You know how long it's taken her to get to where she's at? Nobody's not messing that up for the foolery of the industry. Like the video.
Have the hard facts of what you experienced today and the fact that this happened, and then all we can do is speculate as to who they're really working for and what the motive may be.
Continue to subscribe, everyone. We're trying to stay at 33K. So if you can please subscribe to the page. We got about 200 in the building. If I can please get 200 people to please subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Let's continue to get the likes up. Double tap the screen. Hit the thumbs up above the video, below the video. Press 3 if you're new, where you're watching from. Press 5 if you've been here before, where you're watching from. And then press 1 if you've heard the story. Prior to this morning, I did it. And then tonight we're doing it because new people are coming in. Press 3 if you know where you're watching from. Press 5 if you've been here before. And press 1 if you've heard the story about investigators going to YouTubers and TikTokers. Like the video, fair use, reaction clip.
But it's, I think, very plausible, given the first part of that clip that we watched of Good Morning America from this morning.
This is her producer.
His effort to reach out to witnesses, but then they went into this kind of aim that he has of a social media campaign and trying to sway jurors and reach jurors. And to me, it's plausible that there would be an effort on the part of his legal team. Imagine you have, a ton of resources at your disposal as far as financially, because you're being faced with prison and you're, breaking the bank to do whatever necessary. And I could imagine in an effort to turn over every stone and do everything that they can, it'd be like, okay, well, what if we tried to influence public opinion, sway jurors, by reaching out to influencers in order to have them spread more of a positive narrative. But what you mentioned,
and if that's the case, the judge needs to know this, that allegedly, we can't confirm or deny if Diddy has something to do with it. Allegedly, the judge needs to know this. Real talk. If Diddy's doing stuff, and if his friends are trying to help him allege, and the raid of the cells or the swooping of the information, the judge needs to know this. Period. Like the video, continue to subscribe, continue to hit the like button.
About the fact that only them specifically going after influencers who had previously been paid to spread negative information is the curveball in that theory, because if you were just trying to spread positive information, then you wouldn't need it to be somebody who's previously spread negative, unless that was more of a targeted effort again. But something's going on, money's being thrown around, investigators are showing up at influencers' doorsteps. We're trying to make sense of it here, but it is a crazy tangled one.
And YouTubers, bloggers need to be very careful, because you can get yourself into a sticky situation trying to change the narrative and putting out a false narrative. Right now, he's trending. He's trending like never before. Celebrities don't like that. Sometimes, remember how they would say, oh, there's a story out there about me. In 3 days, 4 days, it'll go away. Stuff with Diddy has been continuous for weeks. Like the video.
And man, again, like it's crazy. We were talking before the show that you can just start trying to share true information, start trying to shed light on a very real issue that has real victims, by the way. And the next thing you know, you're wrapped up in something where private investigators are showing up in your doorstep. It's just insane.
Yeah, supposed private investigators. I mean, who even knows? And these guys were trying to obviously I was coming at them I wasn't rude, but I was extremely matter of fact, no, tell me who you're working for. Tell me what you can. Who's paying you? If you can't tell me who's paying you, where are they paying to? What's the name of your company? Who exactly do you work for?
Right.
And they kept trying to calm me down. One of them was saying, oh, I'm a fan of your show. Don't worry, we're not here for anything nefarious.
So that just says they're watching her. They're listening to what she's saying. They're watching her. I'm a fan of your show. Watch the play.
We're not here to do anything beyond what it is that we're asking, even though when you came to her door, you were very unclear about what it was that you were asking.
See?
So who...
Wanting to pay to change the narrative. Are you being paid? That's serious.
Knows exactly what these individuals were actually trying to get to and what they were planning. I'll put out their first names, Robert and Peter, okay, for those of you who may...
So we're going to keep an eye on those names. So this could be the thing too. This could be something to change the narrative. Who's these investigators? This could be a situation because you got to realize what happened. They had an immediate court hearing, right? Then he has court Friday. Why all of a sudden people are going to TikTokers and YouTubers' homes this week? Why not last week or the week before? There's always something going on to distract away from something else. So now this is going to distract away from people talking about the alleged court hearing. But I did both. Ha! Like the video. Please don't forget to continue to subscribe, you guys. There's about 217 in the building. Please subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you. Press 3 if you're new where you're watching from. Press 3 if you're new where you're watching from. Don't forget, we have memberships available. Super chats are welcome. Super chats are welcomed. $1, $2, $5 super chats are welcome. Like the video. Let's continue.
Have a story similar to this or you experience something similar to this. But then again, I mean, if they're going and knocking the doors of these influencers, they could have a whole team of private investigators who are just going and hitting up different people. Yep, using different names. Who even knows if it was their real name?
Yep.
Guys, I do not know what's going on. And I really... Tell me who you're working for. Tell me what you can. Who's paying...
Okay, so everybody, we're going to end the live there. I thank everyone for being here. I thank everyone for supporting the channel. Don't forget, we're going to keep an eye on YouTubers being approached by alleged investigators, TikTokers being approached by alleged investigators. If you go over to her page, let her know that, I sent you. Go ahead and subscribe. Let her know she did a great job. That's a scary situation. They may want to have scared people this week because there was an emergency hearing, because there was a swiping of the cell, because there's an alleged bond hearing. They may have wanted to do that this week to try and change the narrative so everybody's not talking about the hearings. Allege, can't confirm or deny if they know Diddy or if they're trying to help Diddy or if they're trying to help other celebrities that may know Diddy. You never know. Like the video. So thanks for being here. Don't forget to continue to subscribe to the page. Keep us at 33K. Thank you all for who subscribed. Like I said, this page had 3,000 subscribers a month and a half ago. Now we're at 33K. I kind of stay under the radar. I should have did a celebration of 3,000. I should have did a celebration of 20K, 25K, 3,000, and then 33K. I should have. But I kind of flow under the radar because when I first started, people were utilizing my talking points and weren't giving me credit. It was like they were talking to me, which was weird. And they would go into my comments and utilize my talking points. So that way they would be able to have something to talk about. I'm kind of knowledgeable. So that's why they were doing it. So my numbers are growing. My subscribers are growing. My people are coming in. I just need more people to hit the like button. Send in those super chats and go ahead and do those memberships because we do talk about a lot of hot topics, trending topics, and turn on the notification bell. So that way, every time I go live, you won't miss anything. Let me see what's in the comments. We have fun over here too. Are you guys cooking? Are you staying in? Are you going out? What is up for today? Are you guys cooking? Are you staying? Let's see. Let's see. Let me see if I need to change this while I'm live. Um, let's see. Like the video, like the video. Let's see. Diddy live hearing, new update. Who are these private investigators contacting YouTubers? Okay, so I had to update that from here. So I thank everyone for being patient. Okay. And what do you guys think is going to happen on Friday? Do you think he's going to get bail? Do you think he's going to get bail? So I appreciate everyone for being here. I just updated that. I would stay, but we've covered almost everything. If you did not catch that, Christian Combs and let me hold on. Let me find. Let's see. If you're just now coming in, because I don't want to forget to tell you guys this, because I don't want you guys to be like, well, she didn't talk about that. If you did not know, the Combs brothers are sending, and they did, send a cease and desist. And Shine talked about Diddy. We may get to that maybe tomorrow. He's has said a lot. Shine is doing a documentary. Christian Combs and Quincy takes legal action in regards to the unauthorized book release. Allegedly, Christian Combs and Quincy have taken action, and they have actually sent a cease and desist to Courtney Burgess. So if you're just not coming in, yeah. And I had even said, if Kim Porter had a book or flash drive or anything like that, that should be going through Kim Porter's alleged estate. Nobody should be able to make money off Kim Porter. R.I.P. to Kim Porter. I could not imagine what Quincy and Christian has to go through. R.I.P. to Kim Porter. Kim Porter has passed, and Diddy's in jail. So their family's going through a lot. The brothers, Christian Combs and Quincy, are stepping up to protect their late mother memory in regards to the exploits. Now, they're also saying the first book, I think people got their money back, allege. And they stopped selling that book from a month or two ago, allege. People were sending links to try and have people buy that book. Then allegedly Courtney Burgess was thinking about releasing the unedited book. So that's why Christian and Quincy put a stop to that. Because remember how Courtney Burgess was leaving the courtroom and saying, yeah, I'm thinking about putting out the unedited book, because he was thinking about the money that the other guy allegedly made. But I think that they sent some of those books back to, they sent the money back to people that bought the book. So the account is almost frozen, and I think they may have to do court stuff in regards to all of that. So if they've sent all the money back, the guy that wrote the first book may be trying to sue Amazon, because he's saying, I kind of edited, so I would be a part of the publishing of the alleged book. So I can't confirm or deny if that's Kim Porter's book, her words. I can't confirm or deny. But Christian and Quincy are not playing about their mom. R.I.P. to Kim Porter. Anything that goes through Kim Porter, she is no longer here to speak up for herself. And anything that pertains to Kim Porter should go through her estate. People should not be able to make money off her and not go through her estate. She still has daughters that's 17. They're minors. So, Yep. Christian and Quincy are the rightful heirs. And they own the intellectual property. Nobody else. Maybe they thought that Quincy and Christian was never going to do that, but I'm glad they did. I wish they would have did this when the book first came out. Real talk. But it is what it is. They had to do what they had to do. You know? And maybe it's because Courtney Burgess had to go in front of the grand jury. And maybe that's why they're able to say, you went in front of the grand jury. We now know what you're trying to put out. We now know if you're trying to put out information, whether it was legit or not legit. But maybe because Courtney Burgess went in front of the grand jury or in front of the courts, maybe that's why they know that they can put that out there to have a cease and desist sent out of what he's trying to put out. So now, with the other guys sent a cease and desist, I'll look more into that. But like the video. I thank everyone for being here. Focus on healthy, safe relationship. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged, in our opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. I thank everyone for being here. I thank you for supporting the show. A lot of times we go live in the morning, 9, 10, or 11. And then I do post a lot of shorts. I didn't post a lot of shorts this morning, but I did post a lot of shorts yesterday morning. We got a lot of Mike Tyson over there. We got people talking about Diddy over there. Mike Tyson, who he dated. We did the Jonathan Majors, Megan Good is on there. They got engaged. Fat Joe's talking about the fight. We got Boosie talking about the fight. We got Jake Paul talking about his house. We got Miss Pat talking about how Cat Williams helped bury her father. So there's a lot over there. There's an inspirational guy singing from The Voice. That sounds amazing. I might play that right now. But yeah, go on over, check out my shorts, everybody. Whenever I do long form, but my short content is on my shorts. So I thank everyone for being here. Continue to hit the like button. Continue to subscribe. I thank everyone for helping me get to 33K. We have 155 in the building. If I can please get 155 to subscribe. And thank you. And turn on the notification bell. So every time I go live, you guys will know. I don't do a lot of clickbait. I try and, let you know we debunk stuff. We don't talk legal stuff. I'm not a lawyer. We just give our opinion. So thanks for being here, everyone. I appreciate you. Let me know in the comments how you feel about the emergency hearing. What do you think is going to happen in regards to Diddy's court hearing on Friday? He's still seeking to get out. Do you think they're going to let him out? Let me know. Do you think they're going to let him out? Oh, thank you, sweetest cat. I just saw your comment. Thank you. I'm not certain if my girl Paris was in here tonight. Like the video. I thank everyone for being here. Thank you, sweetest cat. I appreciate you for being here tonight and helping me and assisting me. So everyone have a great evening. Focus on healthy, safe relationships. Be around people that's loving, kind, and respectful. Goodbye. Be blessed.